Hey guys, so before I get this started, I am actually a little sick right now. I have like a cough, sort of cold thing. It has been horrible. It's only been like the last 3 days or so that I've had it, but it's just been pretty rough. So if I sound pretty nasty in this or I look pretty nasty in this, that's why. So anyways, today is January the 19th, it's Friday, 2018. In the last video, I'd kind of talked about what was to come and all of that. I did start back to school. I did do a semester. I did get A's in that semester. Let's see what else. We went and did all of our financial stuff, and it's all getting started for us. It's going really well. We celebrated the holidays. They were fantastic. I got to see family and friends, and it was wonderful. Right as we got into October, so not that long after I shot that last video, I had the worst sickness come down upon me. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I had noticed for a few weeks after that video that my knees were getting worse. I ended up talking to a doctor friend of mine and got a new PCP, primary care physician, and getting in to see a rheumatologist yesterday. It does take time to do all of this. Basically all of October I had pain, depression, my hair started falling out, terrible swelling in my knees. I mean, at one point I took some pictures. I deleted them because I looked really horrible and I didn't want to show that to people because I was very embarrassed by it, especially with as much as I am into health and fitness. My knees were about the size of an acorn squash, swollen. I had to go back into hinged knee braces and I've been in them ever since. I've had only a few weeks where I haven't had to wear them. The most pain, joint pain I've ever had in my life. Terrible sleeping, if I could sleep. Chronic fatigue, lack of hunger. My digestion went out of this world insane. And for the first time in my life, I had a headache. And I now know what it's like to have what is like a migraine, I guess, for most people that have had migraines. Only it lasted a full month, all day, all the time. And it didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter if I got up early, if I took a bath, if I used a heating pad, if I foam rolled, if I went to the gym, if I didn't go to the gym, if I slept all day, if I took the day off work, if I went to work, if I did anything. Nothing changed it, and it was absolutely horrible. I was getting rashes across my chest and neck through here. My face turned bright pink through here. I usually have my hands that are pretty cold. They turn from like a red to a white to a purple and vice versa, back and forth based on if they're cold or if they're hot. And it was happening really frequently, and in my toes, my dark circles, as you can see now. Maybe you can see, I don't know, the lighting seemed really nice when I was checking it over here, but it's really dark like this now. I had canker sores develop in the back of my mouth that I had never had before. It was the worst time of my life. I've never had a point in my life, well, once before this, when it hurt to walk. When it hurt so badly to walk that I fell to the floor and I started crying. And I'm used to dealing with quite a bit of pain. You do get a lot of pain when it comes to tendonitis and bursitis and things like that. And ligamentous laxity does tend to cause a lot of pain because, you know, your joints are getting the support that they need, and your muscles are having to be overworked or in certain cases underworked, and it's a lot of pain. But I can recall probably mid to late October laying on the floor crying in the living room, no, right over here, just like right over here, to my husband, and I told him, I was like, people don't live in this much pain. People don't. I don't want to live if this is what it's going to be like. This is horrible and it's not worth it. There was a lot of crying. My husband was incredibly supportive through this time. This flare, as I called it, because I didn't know what to call it, it just seemed like a freaking fireball from hell. That lasted until about mid-November was the end of it. And I got in to see a PCP. We did a bunch of testing and x-rays of my knees and things like that, and she's like, something is definitely wrong. It's definitely autoimmune, but I don't know what it is, and I'm going to send you to the rheumatologist. Forgive me, I told you I have a cough. And my voice is all hoarse. I sound like Kermit the Frog. I had an entire lifestyle change. School let out in December and I just barely finished, but I still got A's in all my classes. I was not able to work out. Hell, I was barely able to function. And I mean that really. Like when you're sleeping, 2 hours, maybe, in a night, like you don't function. My memory was bad, my eyesight was bad, I was tripping over stuff, it was horrible. My diet now, and this is controversial, whatever. If you don't like it, I don't really care, it's helped. I changed to an alkaline type diet. It's not quite on that. I added in some elements that I've learned about. And it's helped quite a bit. I mean, I had even quite a few weeks where I didn't have to wear knee braces and things were fantastic and all that. And then I started to go downhill again a little bit. We forced a flare-up to occur at the end of December to try and get a positive on an ANA. An ANA is the blood test that they use for diagnosing things like lupus and such. And I didn't pass it again. I finally went in to see the rheumatologist yesterday. I'm showing signs of a few different autoimmune diseases. There's a ton of different symptoms that fit across a lot of different autoimmune disorders. And to put it short, basically, I don't fit any one. I fit quite a few. There are certain points that they can touch on you if you have fibromyalgia that will be sensitive. And I had quite a few of them, not all of them by far. There are certain things that show for lupus, there are certain things that showed for a bunch of other stuff, Sjogren's, the dry mouth and things like that. And she explained, she's very, very good, by the way, both my PCP and the rheumatologist, they're very good, and they're actually friends, which makes it even better, so they can talk about me even when they're not at work. But she explained, it's not uncommon to have more than one disorder, or just have one that also shows symptoms of another, and things like that. So basically we have to go down the list and deduce which one it is, or which two, or whatever the case may be, it is that I am dealing with, and what's causing all of this mess. And so we did quite a bit of blood work when I was at my PCP. I've done blood work on my own because I'm proactive on this shit, because it sucks and I wouldn't wish this upon an enemy. There's people that I really don't like. I would not wish this upon them. This is horrible. No one should live like this. And we've had to do so much blood work. I'm pretty certain yesterday I got a pint of blood taken out of me. That I get a lot of fluid in my knees. And then basically I'm supposed to go in there and this needle is going to go into my knee area, take some of the fluid, and then they can test that too. There's a big chance of doing an MRI on my hips and knees to see what's going on, see where this inflammation is coming from. There's a few things with autoimmune disorders that you can see and some that you can't. This isn't like a broken bone. This isn't like rheumatoid arthritis where you get like the deformations and things like that. This isn't like anything where you get a visible rash that lasts like all day long, or like a big tumor or something. This is something that affects you all day, every day. Even when it's not affecting you, it's affecting you. This feeling of anxiety is it's really shitty. Like feeling like, oh my god, I'm about to have a flare up. I bumped my knee and it's swelling up. Is this the start of a flare up? Oh shit. Like, it's really horrible. But so anyways, we have to go through and basically check off the list, like the things that it could not be, to figure out what we're gonna do next. There are plenty of options, obviously. Life has actually been pretty good. Things have seemed to be going pretty well. I did get the opportunity just before the new year, after that little flare-up that I forced, to go back to the gym and start weightlifting again. It has been a lot of fun. My goal right now, goal, is to compete in a bodybuilding tournament, competition, whatever you want to call it, show in October, and that's the overall goal. But here's the thing that goes along with that. I have to take this incredibly slow, and that is because I have chronic inflammation, bursitis, and tendinitis. So the pace that a normal person would go at is far exceeding mine. And that's okay. Everybody progresses at different rates. Despite that flare-up, despite all of what happened towards the end of the year after I shot that last video, I've kept pretty spot on with a proper diet. Granted, it did change entirely at the end of October, beginning of November. But it's still great. I'm still building muscle. I'm still losing fat content. Not too much at any given time. Excuse me. So that's really good. I can't complain. My energy is still pretty high despite being sick right now. So can't really complain. And in general, the inflammation, bursitis, and tendinitis symptoms have gone down. I do have to be super careful in my form, not to overdo it. There's the idea of like overexerting yourself. And I do want to point this out. Some people believe that if you have an autoimmune disorder or anything like that, that you shouldn't work out. But I'm gonna say something that, you know, it might irritate some people. It might irritate people that are medical people. Despite if I work out or if I don't, I'm in pain and I feel like shit. And I have bursitis and tendinitis, despite if I work out or not. It doesn't get any better not working out. It doesn't get any worse not working out. It's kind of shitty just all the time, but overall it's okay. And I feel better working out. My muscles feel better working out. I don't have such a sick flu-like feeling. My symptoms in general for everything feel so much better when I'm working out. And so I'm going to keep doing it. And if you don't like that, if that goes against your education, your beliefs, I don't really care. Like, let's just be real here. I don't really give a fuck. I feel better doing it, and so that's what I'm going to do. This is not cocaine. This is not cigarettes. This is not alcohol. This is not LSD or PCP. This is working out. And I can't take the supplements that I was taking. The protein, it causes my flare-ups. The pre-workout, the intra-workout, all of it is terrible for my flare-ups, and that's ridiculous because it's like, here's something I've been doing for ages and it's causing a problem. Okay, so I won't do it. That's fine. I will do the things that make me feel good, and I will not do the things that don't make me feel good. So what can you do? So that's where I'm at right now. It is kind of an unfinished sort of, here's the apex of it, what's happening next for me. I still feel like I'm in a bit of a doldrum, at least in regards to my own personal health, especially after having to take such a hiatus away from working out. If that's what you love and that's what you do and you can't do it anymore, you feel empty inside, and that's not okay. And this is not the first time that things have gone incredibly awry and I haven't been able to work out or do anything. Okay, but the end goal is to compete in that competition. Whether I am the most jacked person up there or the least jacked, I don't really care. I'm going to be walking up on stage, you know, with an autoimmune disorder, whatever the label is of it. You know, maybe it's lupus, maybe it's fibromyalgia. And I'm going to have done it. And that's how it's going to go. It might not be the best idea. It might not be my worst idea. I can tell you it's definitely not my worst idea. If you've seen my life, If you know me, you know my worst ideas. So that's basically what's been going on. That's pretty much everything that the doctor has told me in a nutshell, because I wouldn't want to go on for like 2 hours talking to you guys about this. There is a lot more testing to do. There are other scans, other doctor's visits. I have to see quite a few specialists to help rule other things out. I've already begun that journey of ruling things out since November, and it's expensive, and it's tough, and it's mind-boggling and nerve-wracking and incredibly stressful. But I gotta do it if I want to get better. So I hope that kind of covers just about everything that's been going on, and lets you guys in a little bit as to why since that video I haven't been able to post anything, because I had a flare-up right after and it sucked. It sucked some big old donkey balls, but that's life. It's never perfect. So I will catch you guys on the flip side. Hopefully all is well with y'all. Hopefully y'all had some fantastic holidays and are having a great new year. Set some really good goals, push harder, be stronger, put some good effort in, and you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.